What is going on today, guys? So today I want to talk about the operators that I've been playing recently, and the reason why I want to talk about them is just because maybe you're looking for a new operator to play. You know, maybe you've been playing same operators and you're looking to switch it up, but you're not sure who to play, or maybe you're new to the game and you're still not sure what operators to get and what operators to play as. So today I just want to talk about the operators that I personally play as and why I think they're really great picks and why I think you should try them out and you should play them. So starting out on attack, I've been playing a lot more Sledge lately. He's still a really great operator. I mean, he always has been throughout Siege history. Even with the fact that he's a 1-speed, he's still really good. And he's always going to be useful to the team. His L8 is amazing. It's a really low recoil, higher damage kind of weapon, and you still get the 1.5 on it. There's no other sights with like magnification. There's no other scopes with magnification on it, but the 1.5 is fine. I mean, we're in meta right now where pretty much you're gonna want to be using the 1.5 scope most of the time. You're really not using anything above that. Maybe the 2 times on some guns, but it's mostly the 1.5 anyways, so it works out. I've also been playing a lot of Ash recently too. My personal role on the team that I play with is I play as the flex. So I'm constantly switching between operators that both a fragger, like an entry fragger / fragger would run, as well as a support would run. So I'm using all sorts of different operators because I'm just filling in the gaps that my team needs. So let's say my team needs, my team has, you know, a thermite and they have a thatcher, so the wall is definitely going to get opened, but they have no one for entry, then I'm going to run the Ash. Or vice versa, we have an Ash, we have a thatcher, but then we need someone to open the wall, then I'm running thermite. So that's why you'll see a large variety in the operators that I run, just because I try to fill in the gaps on what our team needs at the current time. But yeah, I've been playing a lot more Ash personally. I run the R4C. I do sometimes switch over to the G3 6C. It's just, you know, really at the end of the day, it comes down to personal preference. I just really like the R4C. It's a strong gun, high rate of fire, it kills quickly, and I've trained a lot with it. It's a gun that I've gone into the training grounds a lot with, the shooting range a lot with. I've played in TDM a lot with, free for all, and it's just a gun that I have a lot of experience with, so I'm pretty accurate with it. And so it's reliable. Another operator I've been playing a lot is Thermite. I love Thermite. He's extremely good for blowing really big holes in walls. I mean, that's what he does. Usually if you're playing a Thermite, you're probably going to need someone right beside you that's able to get wall denial off, like a Twitch, a Thatcher, even a Brava, Flores. Like there's a variety of different operators you could use to help you get that wall denial off. Maverick, or just anyone with EMPs. But yeah, Thermite is a go-to to where if my team needs a hard breacher and I know that we're breaching like an external wall outside, I'm bringing Thermite. However, if I'm breaching a wall that's inside, so like a good example is, let's say you're playing on Chalet, right? If I'm trying to get the main breach open on basement, then I'm running Thermite. However, if I'm trying to get the main breach open on master bedroom, then I'm running Ace. So it really is situational. It all depends on what bomb site on what map it is. I'll switch between Thermite, Ace, or even Habana. I don't really touch Maverick ever. It's not that he's a bad hard breacher. He's just out of the meta right now. especially since he lost his grenades. He's just completely out of the meta. He can be useful at times, but really, I don't touch him at all. I'm running either Thermite for external walls, Ace for more walls, like interior walls inside, or if I need hatches open, I'm running Hibana. So I bounce between these three operators a lot, Ace, Hibana, and Thermite, and I think they're extremely, extremely good picks, and I think your team will always need a hard breacher. No matter what site on what map, you're gonna need a hard breacher of some sort. Whether it's gonna be one of these three, whether it's Thermite, Hibana, or Ace, you're gonna need at least one. So they're always useful picks. Moving on to a bit of a, well, actually I've also been playing a lot more Buck. Buck is really, really good. His assault rifle takes a little bit longer to learn. It does have a higher recoil, but it is an extremely strong weapon. You just have to get that recoil down, so it takes a little bit. You're gonna have to play in the training grounds with him. You're gonna have to take him into the shooting range. You're gonna have to get that recoil down on his gun a little bit more. But just like with Sledge, like I think he will always be useful just because of his gadget. That skeleton key shotgun is just so good. It's good for making vertical. It's good for creating fast rotates that you need to get out of a tricky situation. It's good for just any soft breaching purposes. You can't go wrong with it. I just don't play if I prefer to play Sledge over Buck personally, just because I like Sledge's weapon more. That's just me. I'd rather pick a more low recoil weapon that's more reliable in my opinion, but I still do play Buck. I'm a good amount. Another operator that I've been playing a little bit more actually is Blackbeard as well. The reason being is Blackbeard, out of all operators in the game, is the worst attacker you could use. His ability is completely useless. That shield he has like 15 health. It's not going to really save you from much. However, his gun, his assault rifle, is extremely, extremely low recoil, high damage. Like it has it's a laser beam. It has no recoil at all. Even with, I actually run the extended barrel on it, and even with the extended barrel, it has no recoil, and the extended barrel gives it even more damage. So really, he's almost like a Warden for me, where Warden's ability is like extremely situational, and most of the time you're not even using it. You're running Warden for his gun. You're running Warden for the fact that he has a 1.5 on a really good gun. And I'm kind of using that same theory with Blackbeard, to where his gadget is pretty much useless, but his gun is really good. At least I think it is. I've won a lot of gunfights with it that I feel like I shouldn't have won, but it's such a hard hitting weapon that and such low recoil that it's pretty good. However, don't count on his shield to save you. Like I think if you're gonna play Blackbeard, play him as more of an entry. Get in that site, get aggressive, take some gunfights, but don't think that shield's gonna save your life. Don't sit on windows with it. Don't sit on, like barricades, like thinking that shield's gonna save your life. If you're like repelled upside down on a window or something, it's not going to save your life at all. I promise you that. It has like 15 health. It's gonna break so quickly. So really it's just his gun that I like. But again, he's situational. I'll run him if my team has everyone that we need. We have a full lineup that we are good in every department, and we could use another fragger, but Ash is taken. Then I'm kind of looking at either Ayana is my second best fragger. I'd say it'd be Ashe, Ayana, and then I've been switching it up and playing a little more Blackbeard. But there's also Sophia, who I've been playing a lot more. Sophia is so good. Her gun is just amazing. I really like her gun. I really like her gadget. Her gadget is like you get impacts and flashes. It's so good for so many different situations, and I think she's a great entry. She could clear a lot of utility. She could burn. So let's say there's a gate, like a Rooney gate. She could burn that and then clear the shield behind it. Or there's ADSs. She could burn the ADS and then get the shield. Like, she's really, really good for getting stuff done on her own. So I think that, especially like if you're solo queuing, I think she's really good. The only thing that holds her back is the fact that she is a 1-speed. It does suck that she's a 1-speed. I mean, unfortunately, I hope they change it in the near future. But as of right now, she is a 1-speed. So it does hold her back a little bit. But other than that, she's a solid operator. I would say Dokkaebi. Dokkaebi is OP. She's an extremely, extremely strong operator. She's a 3-speed. Her gun here, the MK14, is, in my opinion, extremely, extremely deadly. And her gadget is like one of the best you could use on attack. I mean, the fact that you're able to call not one person, but every single person's phone, and you could hear that ringing for, you know, X amount of time. I'm not sure the exact amount of time, but you hear that ringing for a good amount of time. And the attackers have to physically get on their phone and to stop that ringing or let it play out. It's so useful. It's, in fact, I think she's so good that as of right now, she's an extremely, extremely good ban. So I personally always ban her when I'm playing with friends. We always get her banned. So I'd say if she's not banned, then 100% run her. She's a really, really strong operator. But honestly, I ban her every time because I'd rather ban her. I'd rather do a Dokkaebi ban over a Thatcher ban or a Jackal ban, honestly, because I feel like why do Thatcher when EMPs are a thing? And Jackal really isn't played that much when he's open, and when he is open and he is played, it's not like that big of a deal when you're getting pinged. I feel like Dokkaebi is more annoying compared to Jackal. Jackal can only isolate one person. Dokkaebi can call the whole team. So I'd rather ban a Dokkaebi over a Jackal. Yeah, she's really good. If she's open, run her. But honestly, I'd suggest just banning her if you have the option. Another really, really great operator that I've been running a lot is Lion. Lion is really, really good for, especially if your team plays more aggressive. You have a more high aggression team that likes to get into sight faster, likes to rush a little bit more. Lion's perfect for those rushes, to slow those enemies, keep them still, stop them from moving, and if they do move, they could potentially get punished for it. And his gun is so good. It's high damage, low recoil, lots of ammunition. It has such low recoil that I can run the suppressor on it and still control that recoil no problem. And just an overall really, really great operator. And finally, the last one I mentioned her before was Ayana. Ayana's literally the best attacker in the game right now, hands down. There's no other attacker that beats her. I feel like she's going to get a nerf of some sort at some point soon, whether it's to her ability or to her utility. She might get her grenades removed, or she might get something done with her ability to where maybe you can't use those clones as often, or you have a limited amount of clones or something, because she's just so good right now and she skyrockets above any other operator. If there's one operator you can get, whether it's on a team, solo queue, whatever, and you have no clue who to run, get Ayana, play Ayana. Ayana is just, she's broken right now. She's has the highest pick rate out of any other operator on attack right now. She's really, really, really good. Those clones give so much information. She has nades, which are the best piece of utility an attacker can have. You could do so much with them. The G363 is really, really good. You have 1.5 on it. Solid weapon. ARX, also another solid weapon. Unfortunately, you only have 1x on there, but still an extremely solid weapon, even with the 1x. So both their weapons are really good. And yeah, really great operator. Moving on to defenders now. First and foremost, Smoke. Smoke will always be an amazing pick in my opinion. He has a shotgun and the SMG-11. That combination right there, the pump shotgun and SMG-11, is so deadly. You could use that pump shotgun to help do things like create rotates, put holes, head holes, vertical holes, etc. And then it's great for the close quarter engagements. I mean, if an enemy gets anywhere close to you, you can put them down with that shotgun, no problem. For those longer engagements, use the SMG-11. Yes, the SMG-11 takes some time to learn. You're not going to learn it overnight. That recoil in the SMG-11 is rough at first, but if you practice with it a good amount, you go into training grounds, you go into the shooting range, you just continuously practice with it, you'll get that recoil down, you'll be able to control it, and once you're able to control it, it is such a deadly weapon. Such a deadly weapon. It could mow enemies down so quickly because of how fast that fire rate is. And it's just, this combination right here is just so good. And Smoke's gadget, I mean, it'll always be good. You could deny plants with it. You could stop rushes. Like a good example is Bunker on Oregon. When you're playing on the basement in Oregon, stopping that bunker push with smokes, and especially if you pair them with like Goyo, that's so, like, you could stop that push. You could deny so much time. It's crazy how much you could deny with time, just with him. And like I said, if you pair with Goyo, it's even better. Next up is Mute. Mute will always be a great operator. Even the fact that he's a 1-speed, unfortunately, he will still be always a great operator, in my opinion. His ability not only is good for denying intel from stopping drones from coming in, but is also doubles as wall denial as well. So if you have no wall denial, and you need something to put on the wall, you could put one of his signal disruptors on there, and it could double as wall denial. So, I mean, Mute will just always be so powerful, man. And again, he has, just like Smoke, he has that pump SMG-11 combination. Just as I was saying, that combination's extremely good. Another great operator is Castle. Castle is so good. Play more Castle. He has the UMP with a 1.5 scope. The UMP isn't the best gun in the world, but it is an extremely low recoil weapon. I think it's so low recoil that you could easily put on a suppressor or an extended barrel on it and still be able to control that recoil no problem. And honestly, I've surprisingly won a lot of gunfights that I didn't think I'd win with this gun. It's not the best in the world, but it's better than most people think. And then those castles are so good for slowing down pushes, protecting you from lines of sight that you normally wouldn't be protected from, and they would have to use a piece of utility or use a gadget of some sort to clear it out. So having Castle on the board on certain, he's not good on every single bomb site, but there's definitely some bomb sites where I think Castle is a very, very solid option to run. And there's like a couple go-to bomb sites where I'm like, yeah, okay, this is great for castle. Jaeger will always be good. Jaeger is fantastic. I mean, his ADSs are good for keeping utility up, for keeping shields up, for keeping mirrors from getting naded. Like, he will always be useful, and he gets even more useful when you play on a more coordinated team. I think the more coordinated your team is, he gets even more use out of them. And his gun isn't the best in the world, but it's pretty good. I mean, it takes a little bit to get the recoil down and control that recoil. And it's not the most hard hitting, fastest fire rate, but it's a decent weapon. And I think overall Jaeger's just a great pick. I'm going to do these two together, Bandit and Cade. I swap between either or, depending if like one's banned or maybe we need both of them. But Wall Denial you'll always need Wall Denial. Wall Denial is good on every bomb site, on every single map. No matter what, you'll always need Wall Denial of some sort. So Bandit and Cade, both extremely great options. I think you will always need some sort of Wall Denial, and especially if you're someone who plays like support, these will be great options for you. I'll put these three together. Honestly, Capcan, Frost, and Legion are all really great picks, especially if you're playing against a team who loves to rush, who plays extremely hyper aggressive, loves to push the site fast, loves to rush. Capcan, Frost, and Legion are your best friends. They will slow that push down dramatically. They will get punished for pushing extremely fast. And all their guns are good. Capcan's gun, even though he lost 1.5, it's still a really good SMG in my opinion. And a lot of people don't even look for those traps. They'll just run right through and you'll get free picks from it. Same with Frost. A lot of people aren't looking out for Frost mats. So you can get easy picks with it. And her gun is extremely low recoil. It has a 1.5 scope on it. And it's so low recoil that you could run either a suppressor or an extended barrel on it and still be able to control that. So really good. And then Legion not only gives you intel, but also forces the enemy to have to back off and pull the Legion mine out. So you get intel, you hear that Legion mine get popped off, you know the enemy's there, and then the enemy has to slow their push down to take that Legion mine out. And his gun, I mean, the T5 is like one of the best guns in the game. So good. I've been playing a lot more Doc too. Doc, I mean, he has a 1.5. He full heals the team with one stim, and he has a bailiff, which you could use to, and he has barbed wire as well. So you have the bailiff to help create rotates, head holes, feet holes, vertical holes, etc. And you have barbed wire to help give information, slow push down. Really great operator. I've been playing him a little bit more. Surprisingly, an operator I've also been playing a lot more is Cav. I've been trying her out a lot more. She's one of those operators that's very situational, and you have to, I think she works best against a team who plays a little bit more carelessly, who kind of aren't droning as much, who aren't checking the corners as much, who are kind of just trying to get into sight without gaining much information. Cav shines in that department, because then she could push easy flanks and get 2-3 kills at a time, no problem. But it all depends on the team, and it's very situational with her. I think against the right team, she's very good. Another operator I've been playing a lot is Mira, with Fenrir being banned so much. He's one of the most banned operators right now. Mira has been open a lot more. I've been able to play a lot more Mira, and Mira's just so good. I mean, if you have a coordinated team, you have like a Jaeger, put down ADSs to save you from getting naded. You have like a bandit or a Cade to electrify the wall that you're playing the mirror on. At that point, she's almost like untouchable if you're able to play off that mirror properly. And her gun's just so good. In my opinion, the Vector is just such a strong weapon. Has such a fast fire rate and easy to control recoil that it just mows enemies down, in my opinion. Yeah, Mirror's so good. Mozzie's another great operator, has two fantastic weapons. I honestly go between both the Commando and the P10 Rhodey, depending on what I'm feeling. P10 Roni is typically going to be a little bit better just because it has the 1.5 scope on it. But again, they're both really good, and they just both fry, especially the P10 Rhodey. This gun just shreds enemies because of how fast that rate of fire is. And his ability will always be great. Not only does it deny information, but it gives you information, which is super, super, super powerful. Yeah, great operator. Obviously, Warden, man. I mean, Warden, he's just in the meta right now. He's just really good. He has even though his gadget's situational, he has a really good gun with a 1.5 on it. His ability is his gun, or his gadget is his gun, pretty much. So Warden's really good. I forgot to mention Valk. I think Valk is super powerful. Valk gives a lot of information. She could use pre-placed nitros, which are super powerful. And her gun's really good. Yeah, Valk's really good. Always a great pick. I've been playing a lot more Goyo lately, just because his gun is really good. It has a 1.5 scope on it, and his Vulcan canisters are great for slowing down aggressive teams, slowing down the push, and wasting a lot of time. I think that if you play a lot of Warden, you'll like to play Goyo as well, just because his gun is really good and it has 1.5 on it. And he just has an overall way better ability than Warden. I think he is honestly a better version of Warden. Play more Goyo, honestly. Really great operator. Wilmai's like Jaeger's distant brother in terms of gadget. He's good. Most bomb sites you want to pick Jaeger, but there's some bomb sites where you want to switch over to Wilmai, and he's really, really good. Like a good example is on Cath on the bake. I like to hold down bakery when we're playing on kitchen. I could single-handedly hold down bakery with Wilmai. I could throw a bunch of his discs down on both the doorways. I throw his proxies down on both doorways. I'm set. I sit behind the bakery, and they can't nade me out. He can't flash me out because I have the Wilmai disc, and I'm just there with his 1.5, just shredding enemies. So good. Aruni is a really good. I haven't been playing her as much as I'd like to. I used to play her a lot more, but I still do take her out. She's really good. Her gun is really good. Both their guns are really good. The MK14 has the 1.5 on it, and those gates are really good for slowing down pushes and having to burn utility, and it makes the enemies play a little bit more slower and more cautiously. Then I would say these last four right here are all spectacular operators. And the reason being, Thorn just got a 1.5 on her gun. Really, really good weapon. High damage, higher fire rate, low recoil. You could run the extended barrel and control it no problem. Has a 1.5 on it. So good. And her gadget gives a lot of information from the sound and could potentially get you a kill. Sami could literally change the map. Like, she could change up the bomb site using her Kiba barriers. She could throw a Kiba barrier in a certain spot and create a whole new piece of cover that wasn't there before. And that's just what makes her so strong. She could put protection where there wasn't protection for. before. She could put cover where there wasn't cover before. Like, she's just so strong. Those Cupid bears are so strong and really good. Solus, she's IQ but on defense, and surprisingly, that's actually really good because she can hunt drones down, destroy drones, and she's probably the best roamer in the game right now. Just because she could easily like destroy any drone that's on her and relocate and reposition herself from that. And then she has the P90, which is such a deadly gun, and she has the SMG-11 to combo with it. Like, you literally have 2 primary guns at that point. So good. Such a good operator. Finally, Fenrir, if he's not banned. This guy's always banned. Personally, I always ban him. When me and my friends are playing, we ban him consistently. He's broken. He's such a good fucking operator. The MP7's a really strong gun. He has the bailiff, so he can create rotates and what's not. He has both the BP and barbed wire, which are both really good pieces of utility. But his F-Not Dread mines are crazy. They legit, like, when you walk into one, you can't see a damn thing. And it's so easy to swing an enemy and kill them. Just from, like, you hear the sound of the F-Not Dread mine going off. You know they're blind, you can swing them, get an easy kill, possibly even 2. Maybe even 3 sometimes. Like, it's just such a good ability. Great for slowing pushes down. But just like with Dokkaebi, he's banned a lot. So if he's on the board, play him. But most of the time, he will be banned. Anyhow, that is going to wrap up this video. That is all the operators I've been playing recently. A lot more, and all the operators that I think are really great picks. So if you're looking for any operator to play right now, just go through any of the operators I talked about, and try out, one of them, and see if you can get good with them and start playing them a lot more. And slowly you can expand. If you're new to the game, you can slowly start buying each and every operator I talked about, and play them and get better with them and use them to the best of your ability. And obviously, you could try out. There's a plethora of operators you could try. You could try out operators that I didn't talk about as well. There's still a lot of great operators here that I didn't mention that you could try out, that still bring a lot to the table. The operators I talked about are just my personal favorites that I like to run. But at the end of the day, it comes down to personal preference and what role you play as and what operators you're good with. But if you do need operators, then 100% run the operators I just talked about. Anyhow, that's going to be it for me, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then please give it a like. And if you guys want more content like this, then please subscribe to the channel. It helps out a lot. Anyhow, that's it for me, guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And yeah, bye, guys. Have a good one.